Bill Barr for a moment here. You will recall I've written about this at length over at HartmannReport.com. I've written 2 or 3 pieces in the last 2 years that we've been doing that daily rant or daily take over there about how back in 1992, Lawrence Walsh, the special prosecutor on Watergate, had evidence that George Herbert Walker Bush, who was then president, Reagan was kind of gone. I don't think he died yet, but he was gone into Alzheimer's land. But that George Bush, the president in 92, this was the election year when Bill Clinton was elected. He didn't take office until 93, until January of 93, the following year. But in 92, Lawrence Walsh was closing in on George H.W. Bush for his participation in the Iran-Contra scandal, in promising Iran weapons. In fact, shipping spare parts to Iran during the 1980 election campaign in exchange for them holding the hostages so that Jimmy Carter would go down in flames. And Bill Barr said, you want to stop this investigation? You want to avoid going to jail, President Bush? Because Bush was actually looking at the possibility of going to jail. He said, you want to stop this? Just pardon all the people who could testify against you. There were 6 of them. Caspar Weinberger was one of them. And, you know, there were 5 other people. I think Ollie North was one of them. And so on Christmas Eve, December 24th, 1992, you can look it up, the front page of the New York Times, screaming headline, you know, Bush pardons 6 in Iran-Contra affair, Special Prosecutor Walsh cries cover-up. I'm doing this in memory, but it's damn close to exactly those words. And, you know, it was a 2-week scandal. And it was the end of the Bush term. I mean, you know, the election had already happened. Clinton had already won. Bush was a lame duck. Clinton would take office in another 5 weeks. And, or I guess about 3.5, 4 weeks at that point. And it was, you know, Christmas Eve. Most people weren't paying attention. It was Bill Barr who recommended that. Bill Barr, there's a great piece over at The Atlantic by Donald Ayer called Why Bill Barr Turned on Trump. And it turns out that Bill Barr, you know, was just fine with all kinds of terrible activity. I mean, you know, he suppressed the Mueller report. He was exploiting law enforcement. He was sending these people all around the country to suppress violent rioters and anarchists. I mean, he was a complete toady for Trump until Trump lost. And it looks like really Barr's agenda back in 92 and also more recently was that he wanted a president who was a neo-fascist strongman. It's what he wanted Bush to be. It's what he wanted Trump to be.